This video is going to be a film study look at the tremendous impact and contribution that Tylan Wallace made to the Ravens' 41-38 win over the Bengals. Of course, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and others went into superhero mode at particular times. Derrick Henry in the overtime period, one-time strike that basically finished the Bengals. Multiple other guys that are big-name players drawing high contracts played a huge role. Nnamdi Madubuike with a sack late in the fourth quarter. Marlon Humphrey's interception, one possession before that, all set the stage for Justin Tucker's game-tying field goal and then game-winning field goal in overtime. Tylan Wallace had a role, if you ask me, that's a little bit underrated. Could he serve as a super sub late in games when DBs are perhaps tired? That's kind of the role that he served here. We certainly used a lot of 22 personnel and 12 personnel against the Bengals, really took them to school from a 22 personnel standpoint. I think I'm going to start calling it our power spread stuff. And as an aside, I'll have a live stream, hopefully Tuesday night, on our 22 personnel groupings and the different formations and play schemes that we're using out of it, particularly over the last 3 or 4 weeks. But let's get to the film of Tylan Wallace. Do you think that he can have this type of contribution consistently? Well, he's got to get opportunities. And in the preseason, he certainly showed a flair for making big plays, touchdown catches, big catches, a back shoulder fade against Keely Ringo in the preseason from Josh Johnson. I'll show 2 angles of this one. And then, of course, he had the game-winning punt return last year against the Rams, where he himself went into hero mode. It took a lot to get that one done, obviously, with so many guys giving high effort and in some cases getting 2 blocks on one play, that he can do some of the things we saw on Sunday consistently or not. Figured out how to handle sticks blitz 0. This isn't necessarily sticks. I would just call it a mug blitz with 6 in the box here, but you certainly have man-to-man set up here, 2 safeties, so not sticks necessarily as we have come to know about it, but you are getting a heavy blitz pressure, and the nickel, who was guarding Tylan Wallace, is blitzing as well. So the Bengals, Lou Anarumo, are selling out. Look, it's 38-28. 6.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Lamar Jackson's looking backside for Rashad Bateman at first, comes back to the middle, possibly Mark Andrews, safety driving on that. Wallace finds open space right before Lamar gets hit. This is a huge play. 12-yard. Lamar was unbelievable. Derrick Henry finished him off, put the nail in the coffin for the Bengals, at least on that day. But Tylan Wallace here and Lamar Jackson hooked up for 12 yards on a 3rd and 10 that really, I think, is probably the moment when the win percent, whatever people call it, significantly for the Bengals. I'm not saying it swayed in the Ravens' favor, was still down by 10. Another instance here. Now, this is kind of cool. We're down 38-35 here. This is obviously after the interception by Marlon Humphrey. We're in 11 personnel, and we put 2 receivers into the boundary and likely to the field. The nickel defender is set to the boundary because that's where the 2 receivers are. Outside corner isn't even lined up here over Flowers yet. We're down by 3, a little over 2 minutes left. The clock has stopped. And Lamar is now targeting Tylan Wallace to the boundary underneath expected, even based upon last year. I can't put enough of a stamp on that statement. They're a very disappointing defense to watch from a coverage standpoint. 2021, he got some reps late in the year against the Steelers. He's always going to get depth. Maybe Lamar knew that. He's always going to play quite deep and allow things to develop in front of him. But the safety to the other side is lined up even deeper than Geno Stone. Point is, on here, we're 1 on a 3rd and 10 when we're down by 10. 1 on a 1st and 10 when we're down by 3. 2 minutes left. That's signs of a clutch player, someone who's mentally tough. He didn't get opportunities all during the game. He got 2 in the fourth quarter and took advantage of him. And then, oh, by the way, I think I've already covered this. Multiple other people have as well. The effort that he shows here on this 51-yard run by Henry in overtime here doesn't work. He ends up with his head in front, like Hendrickson is going to try to penetrate, as if he's a penetrating defensive end. He's generally not. And he should pin down to the outside, get his inside shoulder on Hendrickson. Hendrickson crosses his face. Poor job. They exchange responsibilities. Basically, Henry picks up Hendrickson where he should, Ricard picks up Hendrickson where he should pick up the corner. Wallace goes and gets the corner. It almost, if it's shotgun option and the quarterback keeps it, you have to veer off your path and try to go get someone at the second level. Try to cut off one of the inside linebackers, either a frontside guy or a backside guy. You can see the stance that he's given here kind of gives it away slightly. that he's going to pin down on Hendrickson. Hendrickson's ready for it. So give Hendrickson credit. I think that Tylan Wallace can do a better job initially, but there's about his character. And I think it also says a lot about the potential for Tylan Wallace to be used a little bit more in the future than even he was on Sunday. Don't know what his snap count was in terms of offense. My guess would be 10 to 12 snaps, somewhere in that area. I'd like to see us use him a little more. And if that means that there's particular snaps where Bateman, Aguilar, or Flowers is off the field, so be it. Those guys don't need to play 50, 55 snaps a game anyway. It's a 17-game season, a really long season. We need contributions from everybody in order to win what's going to be obviously tough football games as long as our defense keeps playing the way they are right now. I think Tylan Wallace played a underrated role in the upset win, or come from behind win, I should say, against the Bengals on Sunday. You guys let me know what you thought of his performance in the comment section. If you'd be interested in seeing a 22 personnel live stream later tonight, I'm going to try to break it down into the formations and the plays that flow out of it, so it won't be just from Sunday. It'll basically be from the last 3 weeks against the Cowboys, Bills, and the Bengals, where 22 personnel has really taken their defenses to school. Appreciate you guys' time, man. If you think other Ravens fans would enjoy this film study look at Tylan Wallace's effort in the Ravens' Week 5 win in Cincinnati, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media so other Ravens fans can enjoy it as well.